I'm on my 951st day of shielding now. I live with my wife and my two youngest daughters. My eldest daughter, I haven't held or cuddled since this all began. I haven't held or cuddled my 91-year-old mother since all this began. And you can talk about the economic factors. At the beginning of this, I had to shut down my successful landscaping company, close the company that was profitable, earning a tax income for the government, and I had to lay off 4 people. So they were then unemployed. If you take this week as a typical week for us, on Monday morning, my daughter woke up with COVID-like symptoms, which meant I had to isolate from the family, living in a summer house again. My daughter's face was just absolutely ashen because she thought she'd brought it into the house again. Monday afternoon, my father-in-law was taken into hospital. My wife then had to go to him because he's elderly. I was left then trying to cope with a household with 2 daughters that I'm trying to isolate away from, and they're suffering the trauma that I possibly could get it, and they don't want to come near me. I've got to keep a house running, and their grandfather is in hospital, seriously ill. Yesterday, we find out he's been moved onto a ward where there are other people that are COVID positive. So my wife is then put in a position of, do I go and see my father, who's possibly at the end of his life, or do I not go and see him to protect my husband? I'm put in a position, do I again isolate from my family? My daughter is at sixth form college. Her results are so good, she's been told by the college to apply for Oxford and Cambridge. As a result of the mental pressure that we've been through as a family, she is now having to take drugs to deal with her anxiety. And the prospect of her going to sixth form college, to university of any sort, is at the moment off the horizon. And that is how this is affecting people's lives, not just the people that are immunocompromised, but the extended families as well. And it gets lost in all the numbers and all the costs and all the arguments for the science from this. I would take this if it gave me 50% or 40% protection. It would be better than what I've got now.
And Mark, can I ask you, so your understanding of people in similar circumstances to you in the US or Israel or Canada or France or any of the other 32 countries that have authorised Evusheld is that when you're in touch with people in similar circumstances to you, if you took Evusheld, what would be the change in the relationship between you and your daughters, you and your mother?
I could go and hold them. I could hug them. I could walk out the door and do all those spontaneous things you do, like walk out the door as a family and go to a restaurant. I'm not going to go into a packed restaurant, but I can still go down to the local cafe and sit there. I can walk into a shop. I don't have to walk out the door and plan through everything. We don't have to look at everything our daughters do. Is it safe? What are the risks? My daughter came home from school yesterday because one of her friends phoned her up and said, my mum's tested for COVID and I've got a very faint line. She's again horrified. That's the difference it makes. It's about people being able to live a life without looking over their shoulder or walking out the door and having to plan, where do I go when I walk along the road? How do I avoid these people coming towards me? And that is how they're having to live their life at the moment. And it's no way to live a life.